Thanks for watching Four Color Commentary. I'm Mark Allen, and I am, this is the next installment of my look back at the Atlas Seaboard comics of the Bronze Age. And circling back to this book right here, as I said I would when I did my Iron Jaw retrospective. There was a second story. This was the Barbarians, #1, which was the only issue of the series to see print. This was going to be a very interesting, they had some interesting plans for this book. And in part, it was going to be to introduce characters other than just barbarian characters. And that's what I wanted to come back and talk about. There is a first appearance here, besides Ironjaw, a first appearance of a European comic translated to English. And it is the one and only appearance. And it really turned me on to a new property that I would love to see Dark Horse get hold of and do an English version, English translation, and a hardback treatment. But this is a strip called Andrax. And what Andrax is a story of Michael Rush, a decathlon athlete who competes in the 1976 Olympics. And what basically is the rundown is Rush is kidnapped by a mad scientist and his, he doesn't look so mad, but a mad scientist and his assistant, his beautiful assistant, kidnapped because he needs for his experiment a near perfect representation of humanity. Here's a picture of the scientist who kidnaps Rush. But basically what he does, now spoilers ahead, as always, but what he does is he needs an individual, a human being of excellent physical conditioning to put into suspended animation for 2,000 years, because he feels like that human beings are destroying the earth with radioactivity and weaponry and all of this, and chemicals and all of this kind of stuff. So it's, this is basically a futuristic type series. And, I'm sure it turns to kind of a barbarian flavor as Rush wakes up in the far-flung future, wakes up with quite the facial foliage and hair, and can see kind of get an idea there of when he wakes up how he looks. And flowing beard and hair, which I guess would happen even in suspended animation for 2,000 years. But this is the character of Andrax was created excuse me, by a German cartoonist who actually was at one point named, considered the Walt Disney, the German Walt Disney, even though his material wasn't well known worldwide. But Ralph Kauka created Andrax, and he created it in his for his German magazine, comics magazine Primo. Back in 1973, that was the original, I believe, original first appearance, 1973, Primo number 76, I believe. But that was the first appearance of Andrax. Written by Peter Weissman and drawn by a legendary Spanish artist, Jordi Bernay. And this style is so very cool and kind of harkens back to the golden age of comics. Think of like think of a lot of different golden age artists whose names I can't think of right now, because I'm so excited about the prospect of this property appearing in one of the Atlas comics. And no one ever, there's some people, please don't misunderstand me, I'm not the first one to talk about it. It's on the internet. You can go out there and find information on it, but not as much as you would think. And so when I found this, I thought, oh my goodness, I want to track some of these down. And what I found out was you can get Primo magazines on eBay. You can pick some of those up, but finding the ones that had Andrax might be kind of a challenge. But Jordi Bernay has actually done some American work. He did some. He's got a very cool style. Kind of a simplistic style, kind of Tothish. But at the same time, kind of all his own. I'm trying to think of another artist, Alex Raymond. His stuff kind of reminds me of him. But he did some the one work I know he did some art on was, or the one book I know he did some art on in the 2000s was the Jonah Hex series that ran through ran in 2006 and 2008 and through the early 2000s. He did several issues of that. So look up Jonah Hex and Jordi Bernet, and you'll find, and it's Bernet. But anyway, just a really, Andrax was a really an unexpected surprise. And this was a good book anyway, because it was, as I mentioned before, as the Pablo Marcos, Iron Jaw, and really fun to look at. But then I hit Andrax back here with the Jordi Bernet pencils, and very cool. Now, if you have this issue and you go back and look at the first page, you don't see Peter Weissman's name as writer. You don't see Jordi Bernet as artist. You see Andrax copyright Ralph Kalka, because he created the character. And then you see Bardon, or Bardon, which, as I understand, is an art house. But I'm not sure. Some things are lost in translation from German to English. So, but the writer was Peter Weissman, artist was Jordi Bernet, and this is just really very cool stuff to look at and to read. And so, I wanted to make you aware of Andrax, and that you can actually find this in, of all places, the Atlas Seaboard comics one Atlas Seaboard comic of the Bronze Age. And really cool, because again, first time that this property appeared in English, and the only time you only got really kind of half of his origin story here. So anyway, it is in Barbarians #1. It's Andrax, created by Ralph Kalka, and written by Peter Weissman, drawn by Jordi Bernet. Great stuff, fun stuff. It's just a few pages, but then again, this book isn't really going to cost you that much if you hunt. Okay. So anyway, wanted to make you aware of that, and especially wanted to get it out tonight, because this is going to be the last video I'm able to do in probably about a week. It's going to be a busy week. And so anyway, just wanted to make you aware of that. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share, but especially comment. Talk about this. Have you ever heard of Andrax before? Have you ever heard of Ralph Kalka before? Some of you probably know of Jordi Bernet's work in the later Jonah Hex issues, well, in the early 2000s anyway. So anyway, tell me what you think, and thanks for watching 4-Color Commentary, and we'll see you on our next installment of Atlas Seaboard Retrospective. We'll see you next time.